PBS Hawaiʻi Classics is sponsored by the Olson Trust.
How much do you really know about Chinese soup? Well, in general, there are three categories. Category number one are this kind of quick soup, which you can done 5 to 7 minutes, such as egg flour soup, any soup with meat and vegetable. The second category would be the kind that takes about an hour or so, such as bird nest soup and shark's fin soup. The last category are the kind that takes a long time to cook, such as putting one huge chunk of pork with watercress. You cook it for 2-3 hours, partly for food, partly for medicine. Today we like to show you the kind of easy kind of soup. Very pretty, very good eating, and easy to prepare. And the star of the soup is a huge king crab. Let's all take a look at it. You see, this king crab is one of the major ingredients in our rainbow soup. The reason we call it rainbow is because it looks so colorful, looks just like a rainbow. And this is the thing that would help to give us the beautiful red color. Before we go into the cooking, I'd like to say a few words about this king crab. Now, folks, I have a lot of opportunity to work with this kind of king crab by the time I was cooking in Alaska. During that time, let's say about 15 some years ago, study has been made right on the Bering Strait around the United States side. The statistic shows about 2.5 million. Mostly they are netted. This kind of huge thing is not only in Alaskan coast, also in Japan. Now, the Japanese, they harvest this kind of crab right around the summer months. During the summertime, on the northern part of Japan, they get a lot of this. And this kind of thing live way deep down in the ocean, and they are great traveler. They could travel miles and miles in 1 year's time. Folks, this is very good to look at right now. But boy, I'm telling you, if you and him swimming in the same spot under the water, I bet you become the fastest swimmer you ever know. You know how big that is? It's about 4 or 5 feet long like that. The biggest one that I saw was stretching out about 6 to 7 feet. But this is a medium size already. It's already fully cooked. Now let's say we would need 1 cup of crab meat. So we will take out the leg so that we can get the meat out and using it as cooking. But you see, this is a very strong crab. You got to have a strong muscle in order to jerk it out. Yeah? So now we press it down and kind of jerking it out. Boy, look at it. It is so tough to make it. But if you have enough strength, let's say you have breakfast this morning, yeah? Then you really jerk it out hard. Then finally, like there, we got one out like that. Then all you need to do, you simply crush it out and take the meat out. But folks, if you have to struggle so much, you know, after you jerk it out, couple legs, you lose all your energy. So it doesn't work that way. We got to have a better way to take it out. So what would be the better way to take it out? I think simplest thing to do would simply to take the shell off first. Yeah? Once we take the shell off, then you could take it out easily. So let's say we take the shell off. Now if you would follow me, once we take the shell off, then we'll be very easily to take the leg out. So all you need to do, take it out like that. That's all there is to it. You don't have to really struggle with it. All right, now up to this far, we will put this crab aside, then we will set to work as for how do we cut it up. We temporarily setting it up here. I hope that he would behave, sitting up there for a while. Now, let's come back to the cooking right over here. All what we need to do would be to take 1 cup of all the ingredients that I'm mentioning. That's why we say this is an easy kind of soup that we can do. Right, now all what we need to do, we simply cut it up, crush it. Somebody say, well, some girls in the audience would say, I would need a strong arm husband in order to do that. But you can get the canned kind, whatever, but this would be very good tasty. You have it with the shell. Now all you need to do, you cut it up a little bit, then you take the meat out. Nice meat. You see how colorful that is? That's why we call it the star of the soup. Now here we cut it up again. Take it out. Don't worry about breaking it up. Later on we are going to break it up anyway. So we cut it all right up like that. And then we break it up into smaller pieces. Roughly we would need 1 cup for all this soup. Now the soup that we are preparing today would be about 15 cups, good for 10 to 12 people. Then again, depending how much you would like to drink that kind of soup. It's everything in itself. You got the vegetable, you got the meat, you got the cornstarch. So it's a very good soup for busy mothers as well as for all the people who are at work or whatever. All right, now let's tell it up a little bit. Roughly 1 cup of meat would be good enough. Then you tell it up, yeah? Putting into 1 cup, measuring it and put it aside, and then we will combining some other ingredients. Now this is a piece of a small kind of thin kind of bone. Sometimes you have it on the crab leg, then it'd be good for you to take it out. Now 1 leg would roughly giving us 1 cup. So now up to this one, we cleaned up a little bit so that the working area won't be too messy. We got so many things to get it done, so we got to clean that up. Now up to here, we put it in here so that we all can see roughly about 1 cup of king crab meat, which already fully cooked, ready to go. Another thing we need to do would be the 1 tomato, yeah? That tomato, you could either call it 1 tomato or 1 cup. Then all you need to do, you dice it up. All the ingredients we are using today are based on 1 cup, and most of the things are all diced up. So in the diced form, by the time you're cutting the tomato, it's good for you to get a nice sharp knife so that you don't squeeze a lot of juice in here. So now we cut that up. And then sometimes if a little more than a cup, you don't have to worry because you can buy a tomato exactly equal to 1 cup. After you cut that up, then you put it together with the other ingredients. Now this soup, when we use this kind of tomato, it's more or less add a little color to it. So don't cook it too much. Now after we slice it all up, one thing about cutting the tomato, yeah, so much juice coming out. But with a sharp knife, I think we can combat with this problem. Cutting all up like that. Any way that you can cutting it up so that it would be in the diced form. Now after we do that, put it aside, including the juice and whatever. Okay, put it right over here. That's how we get the color. That's why we call it rainbow soup. Now next thing we would need would be the green peas. You know, the green peas would be the last thing you should put it in. Otherwise it would be turning into black and brown or something. So that's why I am putting it right over here using a small platter to contain it so that I know this would be the last one I put it in. Folks, this is about 4 or 5 different kind of things. You got to take some organization, yeah? Sometimes, you got a terrible hangover from last night. You don't know what should put in first, what should put in last. Therefore, you put that thing into a container so you do not mix them up. Now, next thing we need to do would be a cup of shrimp. This shrimp is already fully cooked. So this is a kind of small shrimp. We put it down. 1 cup of fully cooked shrimp. Now, and then we would need roughly about half a square inch of fresh ginger. As you can see, we have the fresh ginger over here. Now this is optional. If you have it, fine. You don't have it, no problem. When you have it, that would help the smell a little bit and have to kill some of the fishy smell of the fish. So we use about that half an inch. Do not peel. Too much trouble to peel. Just do it the lazy way, easy and simple way. All right, now another thing we would need would be about 1 cup of cooked ham. 1 cup of cooked ham. Any kind of cooked ham, smoked ham would be good. You see, this kind giving you nice and deep red color would be real good. So you dice it all up. Some of us say, well, including the fat, not necessary. A lot of us don't care to have the fat, so you just trim it off a little bit. But don't forget that ham should be fully cooked, because all the ingredients that we are using now are fully cooked. The cooking time of this soup actually is about 2 or 3 minutes. So we have everything nicely diced it up, everything would be pre-cooked, so making the soup a lot easier. Now in the area which you can get the Chinese roast pork, we call it char siu. If you can get the char siu, would be terrific. The char siu would give you nice deep red color, but not many places selling char siu, so 1 cup of cooked ham, it would be really good. So now that's about 1 cup. We put it right in here. Now that we would need a little bit tofu. If you like to use tofu, so many areas we can get the tofu without much problem, but some place you cannot get it. And this is not the star of the show, so you don't make much difference. You have it, fine. You don't have it, no problem. Now this is the thing the Chinese look at it very important because it's inexpensive and very, very nutritious. Japanese people love it. They just have to have that. That is almost their daily diet. So all you need to do, if you are to using that, you simply use 1 cup. You dice it up. This is something funny, you know, folks. You got to know how to preserve it. You got to put it in water. You got to put it in the refrigerator. Otherwise, it would give you a funny smell. A lot of Western people didn't like the taste, but to the Oriental people, it's a must. Therefore, we'll say at this time we leave it optional. You want to use it, 1 cup, dice it up. You don't want to use it, no big thing. So we are going to leave it up to you this time. People will say, how is this going to be made? Well, the way that you're making that, for a very simple description, would be you grind up the beans. You add a little water to it, then you add a little salt. You bring it to a boil. By the time it's getting boiling it up, then you pour it into a mold. And then once it's cooling off, then it would become this form. It's a very good tasting thing. Another thing we would need would be 2 egg white. 2 egg white. Huge egg or small egg, well, that doesn't weigh too much. The French, let's say 2 medium one. How's that? So everybody be happy. We take a happy medium. So all you need to do, you put it in here. Oop. Then you take another egg white. Now we leave this aside. Then we got 2 egg white over here. All you need to do, you simply whip it up a little bit with this kind of fork. You know, Chinese people don't use a lot of scientific tools, so to speak. I know in this country, when you whip this, you use a whipper and puck it into a plug or whatever, then you got it going. But this is no problem. You barely whip it a little bit. This little egg white, we use that. It's not because the recipes tell us to do. We couldn't care less the recipes. This is to give us a body. That's why we need that. All right. Lastly, what we need would be a cup of milk. This milk would give you the white looking. That's why we have this kind of color contrast. All right, up to this point, all what we need to do, we will come to the cooking area now. This area, all you need to do is nice to have gas, you know. By the time you turn it on, boy, everything is ready. You couldn't beat that. Now, we got the gas going. That's nice and strong. Then all you need to do would be 8 cups of chicken broth, whether by can, whether homemade, couldn't care less. Yeah? So all what we are saying would be 8 cups of chicken broth. Right? We put it in 8 cups of chicken broth. Right over here. Right, it's nice and hot. That's good. Now, it's a little too strong though, folks. It's kind of salty. Yeah? If you drink it like this, as you stop, your water bill is going to run up because you're going to keep drinking water, keep drinking water. So what can be done? Let's dilute it with 2 cups of water. Hot or cold, couldn't care less. We're going to boil it up anyway. So this is all what we need. Now I better turn this off to consume, to save some of the gas. Right now, you look at this thing, you let it come to a boil. In order to make it come to a fast boiling, we have a cover. Simply cover it up, turn the gas on, boy, it's fast. Isn't it nice? Now, we're talking about up to here, while we are waiting it to come to a boil, you need to adjust the soup. In order to adjust the soup, what I mean is you take off the scum, you take off the floating fat. Then you put a little pepper. Then you taste it. Somebody say, oh, I know how to taste it. Put my finger in there and then lick it a little bit. Well, you try, you put your finger in there. You hear scream and you know where that comes from too. So use a small teaspoon. It's a lot better. Then you taste the food. If the food, the soup is to your right taste, that's all you need. That's all you need. All right, now let's take a look at that now. It's coming pretty good though. So now if you take a look at the wok here, you got a lot of floating fat, which is expected. So you take it out. If you don't take it out, yeah, your husband or so is going to gain a few more pounds by doing that. So simply you take them out. Sometimes it's got the scum, sometimes got the fat. So if you take off the fat, everybody would love your soup because it's free from grease, from oil. And that's one of the reasons we add a little water so that this thing would not be too strong for us. Now, once you bring it to a boil, once you bring it to a boil, that's the time to put a little bit of your white pepper. That white pepper would give you some taste and some smell, especially when you are using seafood. It's a lot better to use a little pepper. All right. How much? Let's say a dash. Good enough to give you a smell, but not good enough to making everybody sneezing. Look at this wok now, folks. The soup is hot boiling. This is the stock. Now, once the stock is done, let's say we want to do it early in the morning. Then by the time we come home and we are ready to go, then you leave the green peas out, you leave the milk out, and then you also leave the so-called thickening base. The thickening base is 6 teaspoons of cornstarch mixed with 6 teaspoons, let's say tablespoon, 6 tablespoons of cornstarch, 6 tablespoons of water. You mix them up. Then that would be your thickening thing. Then we will have the egg white now. Let's say we have to do it now. And then when we come home and we heat it up again, so we put all this in. Bring it to a boil, and then that's all you need. That's all you need. You put it in a pot, and by the time you come home, the soup, it would be ready. All you need to do, you come home, you put it on the stove, you take a shower. By the time you come out, the soup is all ready. Now that provided you don't sing too long in your shower. All right, now, let's say we bring this to a boil, yeah? Once we bring it to a boil, right now we are going to serve it, so we put the green peas in as well. Then once it comes to a boil, then we do the thickening it up. One thing I must warn you though, folks, you must wait until the soup comes to a boiling. Otherwise, the soup, you put your thickening base in, the soup is going to be really dull. It's not shiny looking. So it's very important, wait till the soup is completely boiling up. Well, it takes time. Sure, any good cooking takes time, so there should be no problem. You just patiently wait a little bit, then that's all you need. Now, this so-called thickening base, this 6 tablespoons of cornstarch with the same amount of water, you're mixing it up, you got to constantly stir it. Now, as you can see right over here, if you do not stir it, all what you put it in would be water. We don't want to put the water in the soup. Actually, all what we need would be the thickening it up a little bit. Just like American soup, such as clam chowder, things like that, it's a little bit on the thicker side. So all you need to do, you just mix it up and then you stir it in. Now, while we are waiting for it to come up, then we would like to say all you need to do, you put it in a bowl like this. You put it in a bowl. Now this is a beautiful bowl that we can use. And once you put it inside, then if you are not serving it right away, people are not eating it right away, all you need to do, you simply covering it up again like that. Then until people come, then you could serve it right away. Before you serve it, I should suggest you to use about 2 teaspoonfuls of brandy. All you need to do, you open it up, you simply put your thumb over it and put 2 shots in there, about 2 teaspoons. Okay, now look at it. This now we got the soup boiling it up. Look at this now. So we are stirring it in, stir it up. Yeah, stir this up very patiently. Then we put the milk. You see, it's hot boiling now. You see, this is very important. Then we put the milk in, mix it up. Mix it up. Now, once the milk in, it gives you white looking, give you the color and the body. Then again, oh boy, this is a troublemaker, folks. This you got to constantly stirring it. Otherwise, it's going to set. You know, by the time I was doing the professional cooking for Hilton Hawaiian hotels and this kind of thing, we cook it half done so that we don't have to stir it all the time. Otherwise, we got too tired. We want to sit down already. Now, it is boiling. So we stir it in. Stir this up, gradually putting this in there so that it would form a nice thin soup. One thing, folks, you make sure you bring it to a boil. After you put all this in, you bring it to a boil so that the cornstarch would be cooked. That's very important. Now, it's coming back to a boil. After it comes back to a boil, then all you need to do, you turn off the fire. And then you whip in your egg white. You whip in your egg white. Now, you see it comes back to a boil. Nice guesswork. Turn it off. Why do we turn it off? This way you keep your egg white tender and good looking. If not, it would be too old, getting cooked too fast. Right, now, up to this far, we mix it all up. It's like a rainbow. That's why we call it the rainbow soup. And it's good eating, so easy to make. Now, let us do it this way. We are going to put it right on this soup bowl. Oops, making a lot of noise. Now, putting it up here. So we'll be ready to serve. Right before you serve, you put in your liquor. You do not stir up the liquor though, folks. I don't want you to stir up the liquor until you take it out to the dining table. Before you serve it, you do not mix it up. So now, you wash your thumb clean, yeah? You wash your thumb clean. Then you should roughly 2 teaspoons. Don't worry, people are not going to get drunk on that. That's about 10 serving cups. So put it right in there. Save it now. Don't move it. Leave it there. So here it is, folks. This is the rainbow soup. May I repeat again? How many people we can serve? This is about 15 cups of soup. You could serve anywhere from 10 to 12 people. Let's talk about the cooking a little bit. A while ago we mentioned about gas work, which is good, but the electricity stove, it would be just as well. All you need to do, you put it on the large burner. You turn it high, it works real well. It works for just about any kind of Chinese cooking. It takes a little time to adjust it, it works as well. Now let's say we have the soup about ready to serve. Then we simply stir it up. Stir it up. Ooh, it really smell good. The Hawaiian people will say unu unu. That means really really delicious. I should think, folks, you should try it. Now, after you mix it up, then we simply dish it up into the individual bowl. But if you say we want to wait a little while, then you may cover it up. This is the nice soup bowl. You see, this is a design so that you can keep the food warm, and then it's a very pretty design right over here. Now, this is actually representing a peach. The peach represents longevity. All this design right over here, all this design right over here says longevity as well. So by the time when people have a 9-course dinner for birthday, for wedding anniversary, you serve this kind of bowl. It is very appropriate. People would really like it. Now, once again, I would like to bring out the king crab. This is again our star of the cooking show right over here. Of course, he missed out one leg, but you can cheat a little bit, you know. You just fix it a bit like that, and then it doesn't show. Oh, I lose the eyes. No problem. We put it right back there. It's a make-believe eyes anyway. Now, this is the whole thing. So simple, so easy to make. Next week, we will do the beef on lettuce. And until then, take good care of yourself. We are counting on you. We would like to see you again during the next time. Up to this far, goodbye. Chinese say, 再見.